Somewhere in Veracruz, Mexico, a man pulls into a gas station. Clean forecourt, uniformed attendant, franchise signage. He pays, grabs his receipt, drives off. A completely legal transaction. Except the fuel was stolen, the station's a front, and the profit, tens of millions of dollars a year, flows to one of the most violent criminal organizations on earth. In Mexico, there's roughly a 1 in 3 chance the gasoline going into your car has been stolen, smuggled, or adulterated. This isn't a story about drugs. It's about the most valuable liquid a cartel can move without a single border dog noticing. Ordinary fuel. Mexicans call it Huachicol. And yesterday, the United States Treasury just showed us how deep it goes. Section 1. The tap. Huachicol started crude. Literally. Mexico's state oil company, Pemex, runs thousands of kilometers of pipeline carrying refined gasoline and diesel across the country. For years, thieves, huachicoleros, drilled illegal taps into those lines, siphoned fuel into drums and tanker trucks, and sold it at a discount on roadsides and to complicit station owners. It started as a local hustle. The first group to industrialize it was Los Zetas in the 2000s. Ex-Special Forces soldiers who treated the pipelines of northeastern Mexico like an ATM. They had lookouts, quotas, and Pemex insiders selling pipeline pressure schedules so taps could be drilled without triggering alarms. Then the rest of the cartels did what cartels always do. They moved in. Groups that once fought over drug corridors realized fuel had 3 advantages. The customer base is everyone. The product becomes legal the moment it enters a legitimate tank. And the sentences, when anyone got sentenced at all, were a fraction of drug penalties. Nowhere was that clearer than Guanajuato. From 2017 to 2020, CJNG fought a local outfit called the Santa Rosa de Lima Cartel for control of the state's refinery corridor. Not over a drug route, over gasoline. That war helped make Guanajuato the most violent state in Mexico. When federal forces finally arrested Santa Rosa's leader, Jose Antonio Yepes, El Marro, the Sledgehammer, in 2020, CJNG absorbed the territory. And the lesson traveled with it. Fuel is worth fighting a war over. The cost of that gold rush wasn't abstract. January 18th, 2019. Tlahuelilpan, Hidalgo. A punctured Pemex pipeline geysered gasoline into a field, and hundreds of people came with buckets. When it ignited, the fireball killed at least 137 people. That explosion pushed then-President López Obrador into a national crackdown. Pipelines shut down, the army guarding refineries, gas shortages across the country. The crackdown worked, on the drilling. What it didn't do is kill the business. It professionalized it. The players who survived weren't the men with buckets. They were the ones with trucks, lawyers, and paperwork. Section 2. The retail operation. Enter the Cartel Jalisco Nueva Generación. CJNG is best known for fentanyl and for shooting down a military helicopter. But in Veracruz, the cartel built something quieter: retail. According to the U.S. Treasury, a senior CJNG figure, Ivan Casarín Molina, alias El Tanque, the Tank, runs a network of ostensibly legitimate gas stations, staffed through family members and front persons, selling stolen fuel to ordinary drivers. Treasury's estimate: tens of millions of dollars per year. From gas stations. And the stations do more than move product. They launder it. Stolen fuel gets blended with legally purchased stock, so the volume on the books roughly matches the volume in the tanks. Friendly distributors supply the invoices that paper over the gap. By the time the fuel reaches a nozzle, No test on Earth separates the legal leaders from the stolen ones. The evidence is burned by the customer, one tank at a time. Think about what that means. The cartel isn't just stealing the product. It owns the point of sale, the customer, the receipt, the tax stamp, the whole legal wrapper. That's not theft anymore. That's vertical integration. Section 3. The paperwork. But drilling holes in pipelines is messy, dangerous, and visible. So the business evolved again, from stealing fuel to stealing paperwork. Mexicans have a name for this version too. Huachicol fiscal fuel theft. Here's the scheme. Mexico taxes imported gasoline and diesel heavily, but industrial chemicals, lubricants, oil additives cross the border with little or no tax. So you load a tanker in Texas with diesel and you declare it as additives. The fuel is real, the cargo is real, only the paperwork is a lie. The tax being dodged is the IEPS, an excise that can make up a third or more of the pump price. Skip it, and you can undercut every honest station in town and still roughly double your money. Every liter that crosses under the wrong customs code is pure margin. And the Mexican treasury eats the loss. It runs the other way too. U.S. authorities have flagged stolen Mexican crude moving north across the same border, disguised as waste oil, sold at a discount to American buyers. Same paperwork trick, opposite direction. How much loss? In 2024 alone, fuel theft, smuggling, and tax evasion cost the Mexican government an estimated 177 billion pesos, about 9.7 billion US dollars, in a single year. U.S. officials now call fuel crime the largest non-drug revenue source Mexican cartels have. Bigger than extortion, bigger than kidnapping, a rival to the drugs themselves. Section 4. The Shell Game. Which brings us to yesterday, June 30th, 2026. The U.S. Treasury sanctioned 2 Mexican nationals and 9 companies, it says, kept CJNG's cross-border fuel machine running. One of them, Oscar Juraidini, allegedly controlled 7 of those firms. A currency exchange, trucking companies, freight operators, and sitting quietly in the United Kingdom, a company called Cucumber Sweet Waves. Cucumber, sweet, waves. That's what a cartel shell company looks like. Deliberately forgettable, absurdly named. Registered an ocean away from any pipeline. The second man, J. Refugio Ruiz, allegedly ran 2 logistics firms moving product for the cartel. Trucking, currency exchange, freight, offshore shells. Not one of those 9 companies touches a gun. That's the point. The violence is the retail layer. The money layer looks like your cousin's freight business. And the sanctions weren't a one-off press release. They came coordinated with a South Texas task force pulling in the DEA, HSI, the FBI, IRS, criminal investigation, and customs. Plus an alert from FinCEN telling U.S. banks what cartel fuel money looks like when it moves through American accounts. Because here's the uncomfortable part for the U.S. audience. A lot of this fuel is loaded, financed, and papered on the northern side of the border. And the stakes on that side just changed. In February 2025, the United States designated CJNG a foreign terrorist organization that rewrites the legal chemistry for everyone in this supply chain. A Texas trucking firm hauling cartel fuel isn't just risking a money laundering case anymore. It's risking a material support charge. The kind prosecutors usually reserve for people funding bombings. And that's exactly the pressure Washington wants on every broker, banker, and freight operator who touches the trade. Section 5. The Admirals. So far, this is a cartel story. Here's where it becomes a state story. March 2025. The port of Tampico. The Mexican Navy boards a tanker called the Challenge Procyon. Its manifest says oil additives. Its holds carry roughly 10 million liters of diesel. Pulling that thread unraveled the biggest corruption scandal of the Scheinbaum era. Investigators found a network that had been importing fuel under false customs classifications since at least 2023. An estimated 564 million liters arriving on a schedule. About 31 ships from the United States, 1.5 million liters per week, waved through by the very institutions meant to stop it. And who was allegedly running protection? Not a cartel boss. The Navy. In September 2025, 14 people were arrested: businessmen, customs officials, and serving Marines. Among the accused, Vice Admiral Manuel Roberto Farias Laguna and his brother, a Rear Admiral, nephews of the former Secretary of the Navy himself. Prosecutors said they were seeking more than 200 additional arrest warrants. One Vice Admiral fled the country and was eventually arrested in Argentina. And during the investigation, several people linked to the case died, a detail the Mexican press has raised questions about ever since. Sit with the irony for a second. After Tlahuelilpan, Mexico's answer to fuel theft was to hand security to the armed forces. The military guarded the refineries, the ports, the customs houses. And within a few years, the allegation is that men inside that military were running the most profitable fuel fraud in the country's history. This is the pattern we keep finding on this channel. And it's why the series is called Cartel Capture. The cartel doesn't defeat the institution. It becomes a silent shareholder in it. The gas station, the freight company, the customs booth, the admiralty. Each one keeps functioning normally. It just has a second owner. And the damage isn't only money. The Navy was, by most polling, the most trusted institution in Mexico. More trusted than the police, the courts, or Congress. That trust was the reason it was handed the ports in the first place. Rebuilding it is going to take longer than any prosecution. So will yesterday's sanctions stop it? Let's be realistic about what a sanction actually is. It cuts 9 companies out of the dollar system and tells banks to watch for the pattern. It doesn't undrill a single pipeline tap. And it doesn't change the underlying math. Mexico's fuel taxes make every smuggled liter worth roughly double, and demand never sleeps. Shut down cucumber sweet waves, and a new absurdly named Shell registers next month. What sanctions do accomplish is exposure. Each Treasury action publishes names, companies, and methods. A map of the machine, drawn by people with subpoena power. Yesterday's map showed us trucking firms in Mexico, a Shell in the UK, and financing that runs through Texas. The one before showed us a cartel commander running gas stations through his relatives. The scandal in Tampico showed us admirals. So here's what to watch. Whether those 200 arrest warrants in the Navy case actually land, or quietly evaporate. Whether the admiral caught in Argentina ever stands trial in Mexico, and whether that trial names names further up the chain. Whether U.S. prosecutors in Texas start filing material support charges against American firms. And whether anyone on either side of the border ever seizes an actual gas station. Because until the point of sale gets touched, the machine keeps its best part. Which leaves the question every driver in Mexico lives with, and most never think about. The station looks the same, the receipt prints the same, the fuel burns the same. 1 in 3 chance it came off a stolen manifest or out of a punctured pipeline. And there's no way, standing at the pump, to know. That's the finished form of cartel capture, a crime you can participate in every week without ever seeing it. Because the most dangerous thing a cartel ever built wasn't a drug lab or an arsenal. It was a business that looks exactly like yours.